And we are live.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is Wednesday night, May 18th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is the Pamela Roth and Vinnie Parco show, Law and Disorder. And tonight I am riding solo. And my co host Vinnie is not available tonight. So it's just me, Pamela Roth, joining all of you. So thank you for tuning in. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do the week in review because there were so many crazy, horrible things that went on this week. So I decided rather than bringing on a guest who could possibly cover all these topics, the show would not be long enough to have a guest cover each topic. So we're going to do a week in review. So first of all, again, thank you everyone for joining us, joining me. So what's been going on this week? Where do we start? Let's start with something light first, and that is the continuing saga of what is playing out in court in Virginia that we've all been hearing so much about morning, noon, and night ad nauseum, and that is the Amber Heard Johnny Depp continuing trial over the defamation lawsuit that they each brought against each other, um, stemming out of the short term marriage between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I have to tell you, I don't know about any of you, but prior to this trial, I never really knew anything about Amber Heard, other than the fact that, here and there you would see photos of Johnny Depp showing up on red carpet events with her, and that's how I knew that was his wife. But what's been playing out lately in court is just insane. But I will say that Johnny Depp's attorney, Camille Vasquez, has been doing a terrific job representing him and, of course, cross examining Amber Heard on the stand. And one of the things, as you know, I am an attorney. I was a prosecutor years ago in the Kings County DA's office, and for the past 20 years, I've been a criminal defense attorney. And so, what I have noticed when Amber testifies is that she has no emotions. Now, I know if I was testifying um, about sexual assaults that occurred between my husband or my ex-husband and I during the course of the marriage, I would be tearing up. I would be extremely emotional about it. And what you see from her is the she's trying to cry, but it just never ever comes out. You don't see any of that emotion. And she'll put the handkerchief or the tissue to her face as if she's has her imaginary tears, and I just find it to be very disingenuous. So if if she's acting, it really is terrible acting, and I would give her the Razzie Award after this. I'm definitely Team Johnny Depp. Listen, between the both of them and a lot of people that are in Hollywood, I would say a lot of them have a lot of baggage. And although Johnny Depp is a terrific actor, I think he's eccentric as well. But clearly, I support him. I believe him more because I really do feel that he has been a victim of domestic violence that's been perpetrated on him and against him by Amber Heard. And as far as whatever type of makeup she apparently wore to cover up any of her bruises, I would really like to know what that is myself, because when I wake up in the morning and I have bags under my eyes, I would like to know what kind of makeup she's using to cover bruises and scars and lacerations. So that's what's been going on with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, which continues. And so at this point, I think we're all watching it. It's kind of like a reality show, horror show. Um, it's hard to take them very serious. I find that if she is or was a victim of domestic violence, she's making it very difficult for women who truly were victims of domestic violence in relationships to come forward and be believed, because she is not a very believable victim. And then moving on, as we move forward, is that horrific shooting that took place on May 14th this week up in Buffalo, New York, at the Tops Friendly Market, which is in a predominantly African American Black community upstate New York. And what is so disturbing is it is another mass shooting that has taken place yet again, on the heels of so many others that have been taking place. And this has been happening more and more in the last 2 years. It's been happening more and more over the last couple of years. It started with the movie theaters, and the high schools, Columbine High School. It started with the movie theater out in Aurora, Colorado. Then you had the school shooting in Connecticut. It's just one after the other. And that was again targeting soft targets. And then of course you have the shooting that took place in the Black church by a white male strapped to the teeth with guns. And then it took place in a synagogue out in Maryland. So no one in itself is safe from individuals like this who just are seething and erupting with such hatred. They targeted Latino communities, they targeted Asian communities, the Jewish communities, and the Black communities. Like I said, the Mexican and the Latino communities. And these individuals who were doing it specifically, and I really don't want to give credence to this person's name, because if he was doing this for the attention, mentioning his name gives him that satisfaction. But I will just mention it once, because he, as the individual who caused so much pain and heartache and distress to this community in Buffalo, I only want to mention his name once, and that's Peyton Gendron, an 18-year-old who apparently for years has been tormented by his own thoughts and actions and decisions as to whether or not he should target Black individuals, Black families, Black people in the community, and to look to kill them. And what's even more heart-wrenching is the fact that this is not even a community he's from. He actually purposely drove hours away to reach this community up in Buffalo. And they said that they had seen him in the store at least on one prior occasion, where he had cased out the entire store to see the layout, and then went back on May 14th to cause all of this destruction, which is just another example of white male domestic terrorist in this country. And yes, the guns that he bought were legally purchased. So we can't yell and scream and say, okay, let's get all the guns off the street, because the guns that we speak about in wanting to take them off the street are the illegal guns. So I know there are many gun enthusiasts, and as an American, yes, we have the Second Amendment that protects us a right to bear arms. But so this person actually did have lawfully bought weapons, but he bought them with a nefarious intent. This was not for his own protection. He went out there looking to kill people of color, and that is exactly what he did. He killed 10 people, and 3 were injured. Out of the 11 victims, 11 of them were Black, 2 of them were white. Apparently, as he went in, from what I was told, was that there was a white cashier, that he apologized to the white cashier and kept moving and never shot the white cashier. I know somebody very close to me who actually saw the live streamed footage, because this individual actually was live streaming this mayhem as he started it. And apparently, as he walked toward Tops Friendly Supermarket, he was humming to himself, like it was a regular day for him. And the first person that he shot, because like I said, I had someone very close to me tell me every single thing that he saw in that live stream video that he had to watch, and he was very, very upset, very distraught of having to watch it. And he said the first person he shot was an African American woman who was standing outside the supermarket looking to get a shopping cart, because she was looking to go into the store to do her shopping for groceries. And as she turned around and saw him, she never even had an opportunity to react or even comprehend what was actually going to happen in those seconds before she was shot. He shot her twice to the body, And then as she slumped over the shopping cart, he then went and put a bullet in her head. There was another woman also outside the supermarket that he shot and killed. So it wasn't just one bullet to each person. Excuse me. It was he just shot multiple people, and multiple rounds in each person as he went along. And at one point, when he was inside the supermarket, when he ran out of ammo, what he did was he restocked, or however you want to put it, he put more ammo into the gun. And he leaned up against the wall with the gun up in the air, leaning up against the wall, looking over his shoulder. And the person who told me all of this said what was disturbing is that he was very much acting as if he was in a video game. Because this person who told me this said, when you're playing one of the video games, and I'm not singling out video games because everyone gets crazy over that as well, but this individual was acting as though he was in a live video game. And he was looking over his shoulder as if someone was going to come around the corner and take aim at him. But everybody who he shot in that store was unarmed. They had no idea that when they went to the store that day, that would be the very last activity that they would be conducting in their life. And that's what's really disturbing, because each one of us goes about our business every single day. We go grocery shopping. We go to the supermarket. We go to the mall. We go to the movie theater, the church, the synagogue. These are all normal activities in our day. And I shudder to think that any one of us, any one of my friends, my family, dear people very dear to me, can go out to conduct their normal business of every day, and that'll be the very last thing that they did. And they just become another name and another face that's splayed across the newspapers, across the country. Their names are splayed across the television screens. And it's just, thoughts and prayers, and it's another one. And we keep saying, when will it end? We hope that this is the last one. And then next thing you know, unfortunately, you get another crackpot with a gun who's pissed off about somebody, because pissed off at somebody. He's upset because he had a bad childhood, or he's misunderstood. That's not a reason to go out. There's no reason to go out and kill everybody. You're so misunderstood. Stay home. Stay home, get some therapy, get some treatment. You can't put everything under the blanket of mental illness, because people who actually do suffer from mental illness are not all going out purchasing weapons, scrolling the N-word across the gun, or white supremacists, or anything else that they're all pissed off about on the barrel of a gun, and going out and killing everybody. So I'm just really disgusted by it. I'm very disturbed by it. And the question then becomes, okay, what do we do about it? Okay, you want to blame Biden? Blame him. You want to blame Trump? Okay, well, he's not in office anymore. Okay, you can't blame Biden, because, Joe Biden is not going out and handing a gun to everybody and saying, hey, you're having a bad day, you're pissed off, go out and shoot somebody. Okay, so let's get real and actually all come together, no matter what political party you are, no matter what your race, religion, creed. At the end of the day, we are all brought up to believe, no matter what religion you are, we are all brought up to believe, thou shalt not kill. And that should be a nonpartisan topic that everyone is discussing, as opposed to wanting to point the finger at this administration or the prior administration. Because when you have to go and bury a loved one, or when you have to go to a vigil for any one of your friends or your neighbors or co-workers or colleagues, nobody's going to sit there as an epitaph or on the person's tombstone and say, this was the fault of this president or that administration. So if that's where all of you are heading and you're still thinking that way, then really get your heads out of your asses. And we have to come up with a better solution, because I want to see my children, I want to see my grandchildren, and I don't want it to be a situation where at this point you can't even feel free to go out and go about your daily business. So that's really what I want to say. And my thoughts and my prayers are with all of the family members and the entire community that has been affected by this up in Buffalo, New York. And this goes for every community across the country that has suffered because of the domestic terrorism that is seemingly becoming acceptable. And we should not become numb to what's been going on in this country. And we should not feel like, okay, it's another one and it's acceptable, because it shouldn't be acceptable. Everyone was always, yelling and screaming, complaining about all the COVID deaths. Okay, well, now we have deaths that are being taken. We have lives of people that are being taken by unnecessary gun violence, whether it's the illegal guns on the street or it's the guns that are in the hands of lawful gun owners that snap because somebody along the way didn't notice that, your neighbor Tommy or Billy or Jody or Susan or whoever you want to name them has some sort of an issue. And it's only after the fact that people come out and say, like, oh, wow, we should have said something when he showed up to school in a hazmat suit. We just seem to think that's like, oh, something really normal. That's not normal. So rather than pointing the fingers afterwards, if you see something beforehand and you think something is wrong, that's the time to say something about it. So on that note, I'm just going to switch off right now so we can thank our sponsors. And of course, if anybody wants to write in and make any comments one way or the other, if you want to critique me, criticize me, yell at me, well, try not to. But if you have anything helpful to add to the topic, I would love to hear it and share it with you. But I'm just tired of all this myself. So going out to our sponsors tonight, I want to thank Mark Turner Insurance. He is your Medicare Medicaid Resource Center out at 36 Richmond Terrace, Suite 114, Staten Island, New York, 718-873-1292. Then we want to thank Patsy's Pizzeria up in Whitestone, New York. They have been making fabulous pizza since 1933. They are at 2164 Utopia Parkway, Whitestone, New York. We're back to me again. Okay, so we're going to get off the topic with regards to that horrible shooting. I really do hope and pray that we don't have anybody else that decides that if they're pissed off about something, they're going to start blaming the Jews, the immigrants, the Asians, the blacks, the Puerto Ricans, or anybody else who you don't happen to like, because you just feel that white is right and everything else is wrong. So moving off of that topic, let's talk about something else that everybody's been discussing in the news this whole week, and that is the baby formula shortage. So just to let everybody know, if you haven't heard already, yes, there is a baby formula shortage. People are going to the supermarkets, the drugstores, the big box stores, and the shelves are empty. And again, everyone's pointing the finger at this administration. So again, I'm not voicing my pro or anti-political views because I really don't need a headache afterwards with people arguing with me over that. I'm just here to review the week with you, and you could all draw your own conclusions. But what I did find out is that, in case all of you did not know, there's only 4 major companies in the United States that actually produce baby formula, and Abbott is one of those companies. And I believe it was about a month or so ago that the Similac baby formula that's produced by the Abbott company was recalled because there was some infants who got very ill, and there were a few infants who actually died from the contamination of the Similac formula. Then researchers went through and they claim, okay, well, it wasn't really that caused it. However, the Abbott company was shut down and it is still closed because there was contamination found throughout the company. So it happened in February, and we're now, of course, in May, coupled with the fact that we still are having a lot of issues with ships that are backed up in harbors across the country with so many items that we need on our shelves in the marketplaces that have not been able to get to the shelves yet because of the backup due again to COVID. So as much as a lot of businesses have reopened, some of them very slowly, the issue still remains that a lot of people still don't want to return to work for a number of reasons. Either they're still getting government paychecks, but from what I'm understanding from one of my partners has told me that has stopped. But a lot of people got so accustomed to staying at home and not working or a lot of people are working from home because that was a choice that they made, and a lot of companies are allowing them to, work at home and then for maybe a couple days a week alternate to come into the office. So there is still that staggering in the workplace. But back in February of 2022, the Abbott Laboratories recalled a few certain lots of its Similac, L-Care, and Alimentum baby formulas manufactured at its Sturgis, Michigan factory. The company had recalled these lots for potential bacterial contamination. The FDA at this point is still conducting evaluations and testings of the Abbott laboratory, so it has not reopened yet. They're saying that even when it does reopen very shortly, because I know there was a lot of discussion today with the government going on, with the FDA being pushed to reach a deal with the Abbott laboratory to reopen. Even if they reopen, let's just say within the next week, they're not going to still be able to mass produce the amount of the Similac formula that is needed to restock the shelves nationwide. And that leaves the three other companies that are trying to pick up the speed for stocking those shelves. But it leaves you to wonder, I mean, as large as this country is, how is it that we only have four major companies that are producing the Similac for the entire country? So they really do have a monopoly on it. And I know a lot of families are, it's sad because there are a lot of women who, for a number of reasons, can't breastfeed, can't nurse naturally. And that could be either the woman, for whatever reason, cannot produce the milk, the baby can't latch on. The woman may be on antibiotics, which you can't nurse when you're on antibiotics. I know that personally because that happened to me when I had my son. He was born by an emergency C-section, and I was able to nurse him. However, at the time, I didn't want to give up my two-door sports car because I wanted to be the hot mommy. So I wasn't ready to give it up and get the four-door family car. So I remember one day when I still had a belly full of stitches, like about maybe 2 weeks later, I leaned over to put my son into the car seat, and in such a way, which was excruciating pain, that I ripped the stitches open from the C-section. So I then obviously had to get restitched, but there was an infection that set in, and then I had to be on antibiotics, and the antibiotics contaminate the breast milk. So I would have to do what's called pump and dump. And at that time, it was either putting my son on, he had to be on baby formula. But I know when I was born, I was actually allergic to baby formula. So I grew up on goat's milk. Meh. So, joking. But no, I actually grew up on baby formula. But on goat's milk. But there are alternatives. I'm just hoping that a lot of the families right now who are having difficulty finding baby formula will find what it is that they need in enough time so that no infants and babies are getting sick from not having their Similac baby formula. So that's what's happening so far this week in the news. What else is going on? Okay, well, we have beautiful weather today. So if you're in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, we had a wonderful sunny day. I feel like I should be doing like the Weather Channel. I should have the green screen behind me. I could be like Al Roker. So I know by Sunday, we should be hitting a high of in the 80s. So for anybody who has still been sitting in the house thinking, I have time to get to the gym because it's not warm yet, guess what? Get out now. Start walking, start running, start doing whatever you can, because before you know it, we are going to be going from winter directly into summer with only maybe we had 3 days of spring. So now we're going to move on to more sponsors. Hit it, Anthony. Okay, we have, thank you to Artuso Pastry. So Vinny keeps telling me that Artuso Pastry has this to die for cannoli. And so I'm going to have to go there myself and find out. So Artuso's Pastry has been making Italian pastries since 1946. They are up in the Little Italy section of the Bronx. at 670 East 187th Street, Bronx, New York. And one of these days, somebody from Artuso is going to send me a box of cannoli. And moving on to our next sponsor, we have Borgati's ravioli and egg noodles. And according to Vinny, he tells us that these are the best ravioli and egg noodles this side of Milan. So since 1935, you can find them also in the Little Italy section of the Bronx at East 187th Street. So let me tell you what else is going on, just to lighten it up a bit. Attorney by day, I'm stand-up comedian at night, and on the weekends, I've actually been known to do some comedy in court. So I've either talked myself out of um, being held in contempt a number of times, and I've actually almost talked myself into being held in contempt with a few judges who somehow or another found me funny but just didn't want to show it to the rest of the people in court. So this is what's happening. For anybody who's looking to do something really fun and exciting, this Sunday night in New York City at 230 Fifth Avenue, starting at 6 p.m., that's when the red carpet event starts. From 6 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. this Sunday night on May 22nd, I will be appearing doing stand-up comedy along with the wonderful Sheba Mason. I've had the pleasure of working with Sheba in the past. We've done an all-female comedy show in Manhattan. So it's going to be myself, Sheba. There are 3 or 4 other comedians. It is a live fashion show. There are going to be beautiful models walking around. There are going to be hip-hop and recording artists. And this all takes place, and the tickets are $50. And there's going to be, of course, food, entertainment, drinks, and it's at the rooftop. And again, because the weather is going to be so extraordinary on Sunday, it's going to be outdoors on the rooftop of 230 Fifth Avenue. And of course, you can go inside for a lot of the events as well. And so we're going to put up the information. Anyone who would like to purchase tickets, you cannot purchase tickets at the door. It's an Eventbrite event. So it would be, Anthony, if you could put up where are we? Somewhere up there. In the fine print, it's, you would go to, well, even I can't see that. It's Allen Action Big Event at eventbrite.com. So we're going to keep that up there. And tickets, it's $25 tickets for women and $50 for men. I didn't set the price, and of course, we want to encourage a lot of single guys. Come down, bring your friends. You're going to have beautiful women all over. It's going to be a really highfalutin, tootin', rock'em sock'em, wonderful, fabulous event, and it's called Think Big. And so I'm going to be there performing this Sunday night on May 22nd. Then, for anyone who's in Brooklyn, on May 25th, which I believe is Wednesday, at a bar lounge restaurant called The Cave on McDonald Avenue near Avenue Y, I'm going to be performing comedy. I'm actually the headliner, and it's $20 a ticket. And those you can actually come to and buy at the door. And that starts at 8 o'clock. There is no drink minimum. And so just come. They have a wonderful menu, wonderful drink menu, wonderful food menu. That's Wednesday, May 25. And then on May 29th, I'm back in Manhattan at another huge event. I'm going to post and talk about that next week. That's another big event on May 29th with Allen Action. And I have events all lined up for June. So keeping myself busy by day with the law, and of course with my co-host Vinnie Parker, who's not here tonight, as we discuss more issues and events that come up in the news, and that's why we call Law and Disorder. So we're gonna have a short show this evening. Do we have any more sponsors that we put up? Anthony. Okay, so I lost Anthony. Okay, well, here's the situation. I hope everybody continues to watch us because we are growing, and we can only grow with you when you follow us on social media, and you follow us on Facebook and of course on Instagram. at Law and Disorder. And if you have a business, no matter what the size, and of course, I always say size matters. However, if you're a sponsor, you could be big or small, and you have a business and you would like to be one of our sponsors on our show, that would be wonderful. And of course, you can contact us at Law and Disorder. You can contact me. I can be reached at Pamela Roth at Outlook.com. Follow me on Facebook. Follow Law and Disorder on Instagram. And for any of my comedic events that are coming up, you can definitely follow me on Instagram at the lawyer Pamela _Roth. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We're going to have a little short show this evening because I'm just going to keep talking and talking and talking. And tell you the truth, it's like I'm actually giving myself a sore throat. So thank you again, everyone. Please be safe. And, thank God and that we're all here and we have a fabulous country, and everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing to keep us safe. And so my thanks to everybody in law enforcement and everybody who wears a uniform and a badge in this country. I know my son, I am now officially a military mom. And so I thank everybody for their military service. And please hug and kiss your loved ones, because do not ever go to sleep mad or angry at your loved one. You can wake up angry at them, but at least don't go to sleep angry at them. Okay, love all of you. Thank you so much for continuing to watch and support. Thank you, Anthony. And again, see you soon, everybody. Ciao, arrivederci, shalom, and peace out.